Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahliali. In this incarnation, we are here in one more day, and I'm going to talk about the energies of these next days from today, December 22nd to December 29th. Well, it is important to mention that we are on our way to the new moon in Capricorn that is happening on December 30th, but I'm going to do a video talking about that event apart from this. So many of the aspects that we are going to have these next days are participating of that lunation, and it is a week with several tensions, which means that this moves us to change mechanisms that we were perpetuating from a space where we need to put a boundary, where we need to assume decisions responding to our soul. So I am saying this because the other important event is the square between Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And I've been talking a lot about this. You have videos on the description box, and they are social planets. They are very associated with the forms, with the ways that we are conceiving the norms, the boundaries, the limits in the collective. Saturn represents the figures of authority or the constructions that seem. But from this tiny space, I always try to see it, the integration, to understand that whatever thing it is happening, whether collective or individual in the external, and is invoking this discomfort inside, it is showing us something. And with this, I am not trying to justify in nothing or anything or no one. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say it is that it is very important to try to put the intention to see things from a more high perspective, trying to embrace the panoramic view in here. This is the Jupiterian quality, because what we need to do with these tensions or the invitation, it is more to respond to our soul, to understand how we can respond to that divinity inside from our space. And the experiences with Saturn, many times they are restrictive, challenging, frustrating, but they have the purpose to return us to the responsibility of what we are sustaining beyond the things that are representing on the outside, and to put boundaries perhaps where we weren't putting them, or assuming a decision from what we really think it is connected with the divine purpose right now, not from our limiting beliefs and not from anger or frustration, which is also important to give a space to it, so we can manage those emotions and we can decide from our center. This is also about transcending opinions of other people, of how we should expand our path, or forms that perhaps are culturally accepted, but they are not feeling faithful to what we are right now. So that is assuming the authority in our lives, because the way we are occupying that role in our experience, it is also reflected on the systems. And this is the way that we can produce a change. So Saturn in Pisces and the Sun in Capricorn, that in the last video I told you that is making this square with the karma nodes, this is perfected on December 23rd. It is inviting us to stop looking for an external savior, or to putting the blame on other things of what we don't like, or vice versa, to occupy that role of savior for others that in the end drains our energy, not trusting that other people have the opportunity to learn and solve, and to really choose what in this present moment connects us to the divine purpose, because what we construct for us also does for the other people, so we can help from other spaces. Okay, this we are going to see that in the next days, this aspect, it is going to be reinforced by the presence of Mercury, because on December 26th, Mercury in Sagittarius is creating an opposition with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, and on December 27th, it is creating a square with Saturn in Pisces. So We are going to feel these days before and after the contact of Mercury, I mean. And Mercury is doing this for the third time. The first one happened in the middle half. I don't know if I am expressing that correctly. In the half of November. The second one happened with Mercury retrograde at the first part of December, and now we are having the final ones. So something it is being decided or concluding. There could be conversations or news that inviting us to change our belief system. In order to move forward in its shadow, I said so before. The tendency of Mercury in Sagittarius could be this communication, impulsive communication. Sagittarius is a sign of honesty, and honesty is a beautiful quality, but it is also important to observe the intentions with which we are emitting our words, because not every time saying everything that we think it has a divine purpose, and it will show the consequences. Because transits with Saturn, I mean, we are seeing the consequences every time of everything that we do, but transits with Saturn have the tendency to be very, very tangible. And this happens because we only need to learn how to be more mature. It is all about that. Also, other shadow of this transit could be indecision between options because of the opposition between Mercury and Jupiter, because this happens in resistance to assume what it is really for us. It is really connected to that purpose of the soul. Anyways, everything that could happen, it is to learn if we have the will to learn. So on December 28th, we have Venus in Aquarius creating a square with Uranus in Taurus. This is active from December 26th and for the rest of the week. And well, another tension, we have only oppositions and squares this week. This is a square that impulses change many times in a very unexpected way, situations that are unexpected, sudden, radical cuts, radical breaks, but also inner calls. So there is something very nice about this square because they are in mutual reception. This means that Uranus is the regent of Aquarius and Venus is the regent of Taurus. So they have this exchange of energy in which they are understanding each other. Which means that in some way, even those changes for some of us, they are not, perhaps they are not going to be given as the ego desires. Perhaps they are not happening exactly as we want. We understand the necessary thing about those changes happening, how we need to transit them, because they are moving a stagnant energy. And stagnancy is also an illusion because movement is all that we have, but many times we are moving once and again to this through the same patterns, and that creates the sensation of stagnancy. So this is going to be very, very connected with resources, both material, all the things that we assign this quality of stability. Could be a home, could be the way that we are generating resources, and of course, Venus relationships. So here it is producing a liberation or a movement that is necessary to change those circuits of stagnancy. Ways of generating resources and people that are not actually aligned with our authenticity in the present moment could, be out of our lives. And we have to understand that if there is no growth, they are not fertile, they are not evolutionary in the end. Many times we are attached because that is what we know. And those experiences are also calling us to recognize if we are giving the value to ourselves. I mean, it could happen that people are like claiming to the external situations, to other people, to for being appreciated, when we are the ones that many times we are not doing that through our decisions. So it is important to pay attention to that. And this square, it is also impulsing us to listen to those inner calls. of the superior dimensions of the soul, of our higher self, because we could find creative ways or new resources to create realities, both in relationships and in other areas of life. So this is about bringing something new. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to comment, I've been talking a lot about this too. It is that Mars is retrograde in Leo, and it is approaching its opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. It is not perfected this week, but these experiences also expose our most unconscious aspects, the fears, the will of controlling. This becomes more intensified, and everything happens with the purpose of us recovering back the power of ourselves, of what is happening inside, and of what we can really do in the present moment, letting go of what we cannot control. That usually tensions with Pluto present a challenge with this. And this is about letting go of the resistance that actually perpetuates the pain and the suffering. It is very simple, but it's challenging at the same time. Everything is happening for us to move to other spaces where we can really create and connect, and irradiate our light in a more authentic way. So, I just want to leave this reflection today. Thank you, everyone, this video. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.